Good morning. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style, and now natural hair care and hair care topics. So if you are into any of those things, please consider subscribing to my channel. Click the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So today we are going to do the Q&A videos. I posted it in the community tab on YouTube and Instagram. I will start with the 2 questions from Instagram, but again, I just want to thank you guys. My channel has grown tremendously and I couldn't have done it without y'all. I know some of my views are not popular. I know they might be a little bit more on the conservative side, but I appreciate y'all. So if you know anyone who loves natural hair content and viral topics and conservative but fun fashion, please tell them about our community. So we're just going to get right into it, and I'm going to start with the questions from Instagram. So the very first one, best and worst hair products ever used. I feel like this question keeps circling back to this company, but it was just my experience. So I have 2 for the worst products ever used. The worst product, like I said, I'm not tired of talking about it, but we have almost exhausted this topic, and unfortunately another lawsuit has been filed. But for me, one of the worst products that I ever tried, y'all, was the Mael Rosemary scalp oil. It tore my scalp up. It was horrible. I would wash my hair, I would apply it to my scalp. The next morning I would wake up and my scalp was on fire. The second product that was the worst is actually going to be not Camille Rose, but Carol's daughter. When it first came out, their hair milk smelled amazing, but it did nothing for my hair. It literally sat on my hair and my hair was so dry. Best products. My tried and true is going to be the Shea Moisture Curl Enhancing Smoothie. I will try something and then I will always come back to that. But if you have been a part of my community for about a year now, you should already know what I'm getting ready to say. It is going to be Chebe. Hands down, whether it's the grease, and of course it's going to be the powder. You guys know I prefer, or I like to give you guys, or I like to try the most natural product possible. The length retention, the moisture retention, the strength. I absolutely love the Chebe. Love your style. What do you typically wear to run errands, grocery store, etc.? The same thing, y'all. My casual, if you have ever seen like those 2 baby doll dresses that I travel in, that is casual to me. I wear the exact, like when y'all see me get dressed, I think I posted a reel. I think it was like a blue head wrap with like that blue dress from Target. I ran errands in that. I don't change what I wear because I'm wearing errands. Because I am in full entrepreneurship now and I work from home, when I leave the house, I love to get dressed up. So what you see me getting dressed in is what I run errands in. Now, if I'm going to one of Aiden's football games, I'm not going to pull out heels. If I'm going to the gym, I'm not going to pull out heels. But I do make sure that where I'm going, I am appropriately dressed. But don't misunderstand and don't mistake. If I'm going to a cookout, I'm going to be dressed up, but it's still going to be appropriate. Congratulations, Maya. Thank you. Are you religious? So I do not consider myself to be religious. When it comes to my spirituality, I am still walking in that. I was raised Christian and my husband is a part of NOI, which is also the Nation of Islam. What I will say is that I did go to one of the Savior's Days with him. And for the first time, that is where I felt the most spiritually home. So I have not converted, but that is the religion as of right now that I'm able to relate to the most. Does your conservative fashion reflect a conservative world view/belief system? It does. And I had a conversation with 2 young ladies on their podcast. I will link it down below, just talking about conservative fashion and modest fashion. Prior to meeting my husband, because I know a lot of people, once they find out that he is NOI, they're like, okay, that's where the conservative dressing comes from. I have always dressed conservative. That's how I was raised, and that's how I will continue to dress. So yes, that does shape my worldview. And let me expand on that a little bit, because I have noticed that when I use the word modest, a lot of people tie it to religion, and a lot of people, like, this guard kind of goes up. So I've started saying conservative fashion. But when I say conservative fashion to me is wearing shorts. There's nothing wrong with wearing shorts. It's when you are wearing shorts and the bottom of your bottom is hanging out of the shorts. It's when you're wearing a mini skirt and you have to continuously pull it down, or should you have to bend over to pick something up, we can see your lady bits, right? When I say conservative, I'm not talking about from neck all the way to ankle. Modest doesn't mean frumpy. You can still dress modest or conservative and still have fun with it. Right now, my entire arm is out and I have a square neckline. There is no cleavage. If this was like down here, that would be inappropriate to me. So when I say conservative fashion, I don't mean it's 100 degrees outside here in South Carolina and you have to dress from neck to ankle. Some people do view that to be modest, but when I say modest, when I say conservative, it's just leaving the house like as a lady. My question is, what is the most challenging part about being a wife, and what is your husband's ethnicity? I've never been asked that before, but my husband is Black. I guess you say the most challenging part about being a wife, I would probably say is scheduling, just making sure that you are spending time with everyone and giving effort to everything. But it can be done. You have to schedule, especially with everything that we have going on. So I would say scheduling and just making sure, and not necessarily that you're wearing yourself thin, but that you are just making sure that you're giving attention to everything. And that just requires communication. All right, next question. When will we officially be able to purchase your headband/head wraps? Y'all, I have an updated video for KKA coming up at the end of this month. We literally just got the first batch for the zebra on Friday. That was the 6th. We handed that fabric to the seamstress before we left for Mother's Day, so I want to say the 9th. Now we're looking to do the leopard headbands, and I'm working on my innovation for the head wraps, more specifically the silk and the satin one, so that it can stay on y'all's head. I know that's a pain point. I don't want to give you a date and then that date comes and they're not available, because I also don't want to just debut one headband. That's silly. Product entrepreneurship is a different beast, and that is what I am realizing and recognizing. I'm working with a local seamstress. She does great work, but the professional side and the communication is lacking. So more than likely what I'm going to have to do, especially when the company gets bigger and we have a lot of orders, I'm going to have a backup seamstress. Right now we're doing batches of 50. So I'm not going to give a date. Hopefully, maybe sometime in September. And then in September, we can work on a holiday collection, because I have some ideas for that as well. My question is, are you currently living in your forever home, or would you like to move one day? So the house that we currently are living in, we absolutely love. I only have 2 issues with, well, actually 3. I only have 3 issues with this house. The first one is that our bedroom, and maybe we were just spoiled from David's bachelor pad, but our bedroom in this house is actually quite small. The other thing is that this is a 4-3, and I don't want to, in our forever home, I don't want a Jack and Jill situation. I want however many bedrooms we have to have the same amount of bathrooms. So if we have 5 bedrooms, I want 5 bathrooms. And then the third thing is that our our crawl space is actually very tall. Shaquille O'Neal could stand up in our crawl space. We want to get the basement finished. I would probably say we probably want to get some land and build. If we were to ever do that, it would be a ranch, or it would be a single story house. We were going to move into a single story house. It was about 5,000 square feet. That was going to be our forever home. We were just going to update it as we went. But there was a lot of things going on in the background that we were just not comfortable making an offer. So this has the potential to be a forever home, but we also have considered and talked about moving. If we were to move, we would keep this as a rental. All right. Last question. What is next for you on your social media journey? So what is next for me for my social media journey is probably, I really want to focus on the podcast. You guys know that I will always be a champion for natural hair. The fashion content on my channel, I'm not saying it's going to take a backseat. Y'all know I love fashion, but I am feeling called to do other things. Not saying that fashion is not important, but I want to have conversations about conservative fashion. I want to have conversations about modesty. I want to have conversations about social media and what it's doing to our children, the attention, the likes, what mental effects that's having on them, motherhood, how we are showing up in spaces. I'm feeling more called to do that. I'm also looking to but dabbling in documentaries. I actually want to do a documentary just of the history of natural hair and its bands. I'm looking for that to come out. I'd probably say I've started doing research probably maybe end of July, beginning of August. I'm getting the information together now, so I'm excited about that. So what's next for me on social media is going to be more meaningful conversations. There's, we can still have fun and things like that, but I'm feeling called to discuss and talk about more serious topics. All right, so those are all of the questions. And like I said before, a big thank you to y'all. This community would not be a community without y'all. I just want to remind you, here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Thursday. Every Wednesday and Sunday. The podcast episodes air on Thursdays. I will leave my Instagram handle up here or down here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. And once again, thank you for your support. Bye.
We always have it coming.